Okay, YouTube, welcome to a brand new Let's Play with the Flying Phent. This is Slaves to Armok, God of Blood, Chapter 2, Dwarf Fortress, Histories of Gluttony and Determination. Fantastic. Dwarf Fortress, everybody. Wow. Version 0.40.10, you can see down here. If you don't know about this game, it's a game made by one guy, programmed by Tarn Adams, designed by Tarn and Zach, two brothers. The guy makes all his money off of donations for this game, and this game is absolutely fantastic. A lot of people whine and moan and complain and whinge and all kinds of negative stuff about it. There's lots of... he takes a lot of flack for the interface, but I mean, the depth of the game is why the interface is less than ideal, right? He had a specific goal in mind, which was to make a extremely deep, extremely detailed game, which he has succeeded at in spades. And I mean, other things suffer when you do that, right? So be it. Okay, so I already created a world. I did the search, if you know how to do that with the F there. This isn't going to be a tutorial series, by the way, so don't expect it to be. I may make some tutorial sort of comments, but this is not a tutorial series in any way, shape, or form. So there's two kind of spots. All these exclamation marks are sites that I've kind of scoped out ahead of time that look like they could be interesting to play in. The two that I'm kind of looking at are this one here in the Forests of Honoring on our planet, the Eternal Planet. I guess the planet is called the Eternal Planet. Interesting. With the stream is called something, the Scandalous Act. Bootstrapper, the Scandalous Act, maybe? I don't know. Boot Topper? It's hard to tell. Sometimes the abbreviations are a little tricky. Boot Upper, the Scandalous Act? I don't know. In any case, this place, the only difference between the two that I'm looking at is that this one has a surrounding of wilderness, and this one has a surroundings of untamed wilds. Untamed wilds would be a little bit more violent. This one has a stream called the Olive Harmony. It's kind of nice. The other thing worth looking at is in our DFAQ here, and you can see in my testing I've already kind of done this. If we do a prospect and we see what kind of metals they have, now they're probably in the same biome, so this is going to be very similar. I'm ignoring the gems and everything else. I'm just looking at what type of metals I have. And having lots of magnetite is nice. I see some gold as well, which is good, some platinum. If we go to the other spot, what type of metals does it have? And it has probably the same. Yeah, basically the same. So I'm going to go, I think, with this one. The Untamed Wilds. So let's go ahead and embark. Giving a warning, that's fine. I already have kind of a half profile made. I shouldn't say half profile, it's really a full profile. You can see there's meat available. If you notice really quickly there, I did call it the my cookery profile, and you'll see why in a second. I'm going to go ahead and connect to Dwarf Fortress. There we go. And I use this to kind of optimize. If you weren't aware you can do this, you absolutely can. While you're embarking, Dwarf Therapist will connect to Dwarf Fortress and give you your dwarfs and all of their skills. So let's go ahead. My first priority is to get 2 decent axe dwarves. Wow, this guy's strong. Lacking agility, which is, suboptimal. But good, good stats for fighter. Same with this guy here, would also make a good fighter. So I think I'm going to take these 2 guys, and I'm going to call them Axe Lord, because they will eventually be Axe Lords. The next thing I'm really interested in is getting a decent hunter. So I'm going to go ahead and put the capital U there for no reason. I'm going to go ahead and get a hunter going as well then. And then from here it kind of gets a little bit iffy. They all make decent miners. Anyone but this guy can be my carpenter. Basically what I like to do, I should have explained this first. I like to have 2 axe lords, a hunter, a farmer, a carpenter, and 2 miners. That's what I like to use as my starting bout of people. And my carpenter will do all of my crafting initially until I get more people coming in. So I think this guy here would probably make my good carpenter, because he's probably going to be my leader initially as well. He's also going to be my architect, which is a difficult skill to get up and whatnot. So I think, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call this guy my carpenter. He can also take on, as you can see, my broker type role in the beginning. Also not a bad chief medical, which I believe is just the diagnosis. They're good for it to be a diagnosis, they're chief medical. That's how I understand it. Plus a good leader manager, so there we go. Carpenter, you're it. Now I need 1 farmer, and 2 miners. So if we look at this, under farmer, they're all equally neutral at farming. Herbalism, only this guy, I should also clarify, in the beginning opening kind of salvos of the game, my farmer, my audio seems loud a little bit, so let me turn that down a touch. In the opening salvos of the game, my farmer also does herbalism and weaving. So I mean, this guy's out. He's not very good at both of them, so he will be one of my 2 miners. And then as far as weaving went, one of these guys was pretty good at it. Yeah, now I'm not too concerned about it because I'm really only using the weaving to collect the spider silk that ends up kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So let's just take a look. Tries to keep things orderly, is grounded in reality, likes working outdoors. They both like working outdoors. I don't really think there's any difference in these. Let me just switch over here real quick. This guy has a little bit of strength, which will be useful for mining. He can be a miner. And the leftover will be my farmer. Okay, now before I do anything else, I go ahead and I set the, whatchamacallit. I want to say traits, not traits, the tasks, I forget what the word is. Labors, that's it, labors. I'm going to set the labors. So one axe lord is going to be a woodcutter, and one is going to just do some basic mining. They're both equally, this guy's a better miner. So this guy will start off mining, this guy will start off woodcutting. Now, in the past, I would have set them both as woodcutters, but with the way trees are now, I'm worried about bits of tree falling on people, so I don't like to do that. My carpenter, as I said, is going to do all of my crafting at the start. He's also going to do, He's also going to do butchery and tannery if they pop up. He's also going to be my architect. Was there something else? There's something else that I sometimes forget to assign him as. No, I think it's architect is what I forget to. I also don't want him doing any hauling in the beginning. Same with my woodcutter. I don't want him doing any hauling at the very beginning. My farmer will do farming. He will do plant gathering. He will also do butchery and tanning. And I don't want him doing any hauling. And before I forget, I also want him to be a weaver, just to collect some webs. My hunter will be a hunter. That's it. He will also do butchery and tannery. And he can do all the cooking he wants. And my miners, in the beginning, they will be just fine taking care of hauling labors, simply because I want to cut down trees around where I'm going to dig first. That way my miners aren't, possibly walking underneath hauling logs and getting injured in the very beginning of the game. So that's kind of my setup. So now that my labors are set, I use nicknames. I mentioned this before. I use nicknames to tell me who's who. And I'm going to continue with that trend. Now, as far as initial skills go, I'm a little cheap with these. I don't kind of give them out unnecessarily. Now, because hunters go through just a metric crap ton of crossbows, I want them to be as good as possible. So I set that. My miner, you know what, they'll be a little bit slow. They'll learn quickly, so I don't assign them any skills at all. Especially since in the beginning, I really do a lot of digging through sand and stuff. Farmer, the reason I do this, and I don't know if people are aware, when farmers either harvest plants that are from a farm, or why did I say brewer, not brewer, grower, from a farm, or if they're collecting them outside, farmers, the higher their skill, the more they'll get. So it's like if they go up to a raspberry bush, and he's a level 0 herbalist, right, in the wild, he'll go and he'll pick 1 raspberry. Whereas if he has a high herbalist skill, he'll go and he'll pick maybe 5 raspberries, which means 5 more seeds and 5 more plants. So having high herbalism is good. Grower, less important, but I have no problem kind of putting 5 points in that because I will eventually use it. My axe lords, they're going to get pretty good at using axes just from training. What is important, however, is that they are good at teaching, so that they learn quicker from each other. So I go ahead and I give them maxed out teacher skill. My carpenter, you know what, he doesn't really need anything at the beginning. Something that I sometimes will do is give him pacifier and consoler. You know, they're a little helpful. Something else that I might do would be to kind of take a gamble. If we go back to Dwarf Therapist, we can see that my carpenter, under his roles, would make a good bookkeeper. So sometimes what I do is I kind of take a gamble that I'll get a good carpenter, and instead I go ahead and set this guy, I'll give him like organizer or record keeper, so he's kind of geared towards the noble role he will probably take eventually. Alternatively, some good option would be to put doctor skills on him, so you have at least a basic doctor available. but I don't find that doctor skills are all that useful, to be honest. So I don't really worry about them. And then, of course, my other axe lord, he's going to need to be a proficient eater as well. Now, before I move to the next screen, where we take a look at what items I'm bringing on my embark, just remember, I called this my cookery profile. That's kind of an important thing to keep in mind, because you're going to see this list and be like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. So here we go. This is the stuff I'm bringing. I'm going to start off with animals. I bring 3 female dogs and 1 male dog, because I use them to kind of detect kobolds and whatnot. So I like to have a fairly large number of dogs. I don't take war dogs because it's very easy to train them, if I want them, and hunting dogs, but for, you know, like half the price. So why would I take already trained ones when I can train them myself? I don't understand. So I don't. Cats, I take 1 female and 4 male, because I like having a bunch of cats to deal with pests, but I don't want to take too many females, because then I'll have just a huge cat explosion. I also take 2 ewes and 1 ram. Now the reason I do this is because sheep have the smallest pasturing requirements of all of the animals that give me milk, meat, and wool. So there's lambs, there's alpacas, and there's something else. Lambs, alpacas, what's the other one you can get? Llamas, I think, are the other ones that you get. The 3, the milk, the meat, and the wool from. But I go with sheep because they have the smallest pasturing requirements. So that's why I pick sheep. And then I go with some peahens and some peacocks, which is a little strange to some people. Like, why wouldn't you go with turkeys? Blue peahens and blue peacocks grow in half the time that a turkey grows. That's really all there was to it. So and I kind of went with that. I don't think, I mean, all the poultry are relatively kind of similar, so I don't really think it really matters. But I go with 8 females to start and 1 male to start. Then I take 3 copper picks, because I have 3 miners in the beginning. I wouldn't mind taking 4, but I just didn't have the points for it. I might get rid of some of my cooking stuff to kind of make this more a pick-based, to give myself that extra pick, but honestly I'm not going to revert. Copper crossbow for my hunter, he also needs a quiver, and then 3 backpacks and 3 water skins for my hunter / Mark's dwarf, as well as my 2 axe lords. There's my 3 that they're going to need. I also take a few copper bolts. I might take a few more, we'll see. I have 28 points left to spend, as you can see, from meat that wasn't used. I then take 1 training axe so that I can start cutting down trees right away. I take a few logs so I can start setting up some base, some workshops and whatnot right off the bat. I mean, I have the training axe, so I can always wait for a tree to get chopped down first, but I like to kind of jump into it. And the fact that I'm going to do, since I have points to spare, is I'm going to take the 5th one for the loom, to allow my weaver to go out and collect some stuff. Some gypsum plaster I start off with right off the bat, just in case somebody gets injured at the beginning. I have what I need to make casts should I need it. I take 2 copper breastplates so that my axe lords can have some armor to start running with. I take a whole bunch of alcohol. I take a fair number of seeds, and then everything else is meat that costs only 2, and 1 of each, because that way I get a ton of barrels. And the reason, I mean, it does seem a little bit cheaty, I know, but the problem is you can't keep up with barrel production in the very beginning if you're going to have a cook-based economy. Now, there have been a lot of changes to how the hunters work, and I find they're a lot less efficient now. And in the sample game that I played, this did not generate anywhere near the economy that I liked in previous versions of Dwarf Fortress. Namely because the hunter isn't killing as many animals, which means I don't get as much meat, is number 1. Number 2, I don't get as many bones. And my economy, the way that I kind of have evolved in my playing, the way that I found was extremely efficient to run an economy, was always based on selling food and selling crafts made out of bones. But now I don't get as many bones, and I don't get as much meat, which makes the food-based economy possibly quite difficult. I know there are other kind of entry-level economies that are quite popular, mechanisms being a big one, and things like rock mugs and rock crafts are pretty popular. I have nothing against them. I just went with the cooking one because I need food anyway, you know, so it's not like I'm like, oh crap, I didn't make enough food, but I have a billion mugs I can sell. This way I can sell extra food And if I don't have extra food, then, you know, my guys still aren't going to starve. So that's kind of my logic for using a cooking-based profile. Whether or not it makes any sense, I don't know. I really don't know. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take... I want to take some more seeds. I think I'm going to take some more bolts. I'll take 20 bolts. I am going to take another thing of plaster as well, and then I'll just take another meat, another 2-cost meat, and that's what I'm going to go with. So fort name. If you notice the name of the episode, I could sit here and do the random thing and then decide what to call it, but I actually started to test the save. If you've been following my other series, I complained that we tried to do this previously, and within a couple of months I was already ambushed, which was extremely unfortunate. I mean, I had literally no one capable of fighting, and I just got wiped out. Now that's a bug, it's not supposed to happen, so I created a new save. This world, I should say, not a new save, I created this new world, and I didn't have this happen in 2 games that I played. I only played them for a year, just to see if that bug would resurface, and it didn't, so I'm going to hope it doesn't. But the very last one I played, I went in, I was going through random trying to find a good fort name, and it gave me Night Hall, and I thought, what a fantastic name. I'm going to go with that. Let's go with Nighthall, Fortress of Nighthall. Done. Group name, this one I'm a lot less picky about. Well, dabbling pigs is not bad. Paper of Gnome, the Whip of Steam, the Armor of Violence. The Arena of Wanderers, that kind of has a nice ring to it, I think. Yeah, the Arena of Wanderers. So there we go. The Arena of Wanderers going to Nighthall. Fantastic. I'm going to hit the E key. My computer's not the most powerful in the world, so it's going to take a second and we're going to embark. I have embarked on this previously, by the way.
By the dwarven gods, what have we got here? What is this place? It's a mess! What? There's not even any alcohol here. They told me there'd be rivers running with alcohol. Ah, I've been lied to.
I've never played with sound sets before. I normally wouldn't. I only turned it on because I thought it might be boring for people watching. But sure, that was an interesting little thing. I have embarked. I made a backup of the world to embark on this spot just to make sure it wasn't a ridiculously horrible spot. And it's not bad. It's not bad. You can see there are some hills. No, there aren't. Oh, there's a down. Right, that's right. If there's a slope down somewhere? Am I thinking of somewhere else? Maybe I haven't embarked here. Oh, you know what? I think I embarked on the one that was wilderness, not the Untamed Wilds one. I don't think I have embarked here before. Ooh. So which way do I want to face? Oh, there's a little bit of a hill there. Have I embarked here? I don't think I have embarked here before. I think this is my first time seeing this. This is interesting. So where would I like to put my castle? I think... It looked like there was a spot over here. Yeah, there's kind of a spot over here that's kind of wide open a little bit. This might be a decent spot. It's not that far from where I spawned in either. And I like to do like kind of a series of drawbridges, or at least how I envision it. I shouldn't say I like it. It's my first time trying this. But I like to have like a series of drawbridges, I think. And then like a tunnel under... You'll see, I have like a bit of a vision that's very inefficient, but I think will look really cool. And I'm going to start setting that up in the next episode. So that's going to be it for the kind of embark preparations thing. That will give you an idea of kind of how we got here, where we are, how I pick who does what I embarked with in terms of skills and utilities, supplies, animals, all that type of stuff. Yeah, so hopefully you have some idea of the direction we're headed in. And if you'd like to see how the building goes, you're going to have to come back to the next episode. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.